Well, as the world commemorates International Day for Missing Persons, the International Committee of the Red Cross says it's working together with the Nigerian Red Cross Society to assist families search for their missing loved ones and reunite them. The ICRC says about 23,000 people in Nigeria are registered as missing by their families, with 15,000 alone in Borno State being the epicenter of Boko Haram insurgency. The organization reaffirms commitment in locating families who are missing so as to reunite them to their loved ones. I'm joined now to further establish what the challenges are and the way forward, a representative of the International Committee of the Red Cross, and Sophie. Thank you for joining us on the news this hour. At 23,000, we understand that the figure is the highest in Africa. Beyond the issue of terrorism and insurgency, what are the key factors responsible for this?
Good afternoon, and thank you for inviting us. So there is a multiple number of reasons why people go missing, particularly in Nigeria. So as you mentioned, we have the conflict in the northeast of the country. But besides that, we of course have people going missing because of kidnappings, other situations of violence and migration. Only a few of them to mention.
So, how is what is the role of ICRC in all of this? Particularly, walk us through the figures of the people you've been able to reunite in the past 1 year.
Thank you for that question. So the ICRC has a very strong mandate when it comes to reunifying and searching for missing people and supporting the families that are left behind. That's very anchored in our mandate that stems from international humanitarian law. And as the ICRC, we have multiple activities on how we search for missing people and support their relatives. We do the active search itself, meaning that we actively look for people that went missing. And in the meantime, we also try to accompany the families that are left behind by providing mental health and psychosocial support, trying to support them in legal or administrative issues that families of the missing are facing because their relative went missing. And besides that, of course, we also try to support the authorities because it remains first and foremost the obligations of states and authorities to prevent from people disappearing and to also try to search for people that have disappeared and to support the families in the needs that they have. In terms of the numbers, and as you mentioned, the numbers are not always saying everything. This year, since 2022 until now, the ICRC has been able to carry out 22 family reunifications, but also has been able to restore contact between family members on an estimate number of 2,740. Of course, there is a bigger story behind those numbers, just as you mentioned, the 23,000. That's the number of people that are registered with the International Committee of the Red Cross and the Nigerian Red Cross Society. But we know that that number is just a small amount of the actual number of people that disappeared. But beyond that number, and the numbers that we do not know, is the families that are left behind. Because behind every missing person, there is 10, 20 people, families that are missing that one relative. So the impact of the disappearance of one person goes way beyond than just the disappearance itself.
How much help are these families left behind getting? Do you think there are enough stakeholders apart from the Red Cross providing the help?
I think, especially in a context like Nigeria, where we know that the estimated number of missing people is enormous, and as you mentioned, one of the biggest caseloads that the ICRC has registered in the continent, there is much more that we can do. There is a strong interest and willingness from the authorities and other stakeholders to work on the issue, but it's only a limited fraction of the people that are actually in need of the support that is needed.
And Sophie Stockman is Missing Delegate, International Committee of the Red Cross Nigeria. Thank you for talking to us on the news this hour.
Thank you very much.